And again, this is a new thing for me. So when I first was reading these comments, because I do want to get the people what they want. You know what I mean? So I want to tap in, but it's like, these niggas is hard to please. I don't think you really can at this point.
So Mona is very happy to be here with us.
Speak for her.
All right, y'all. The crew wasted zero time at all to get everything straightened out. They came through and made it crystal clear that Mona wasn't let go from the pod just because she was absent last week. Joe didn't shut her out, full stop. So yeah, naturally, our minds wandered a little. At least mine did. Just a tiny bit, nothing wild. Even Mark admitted he wasn't 100% sure what was going on, since nobody had mentioned that Mona would be missing last week. And honestly, I get Mona's feelings from that opening clip. I really do. If you're watching or listening right now, 9 times out of 10, you're plugged into the community, and you can see it yourself. No matter if people love the pod, hate it, or are somewhere in between, they're gonna make their thoughts heard. Whether it's in comment sections or entire channels dedicated to the JBP like this one, the energy is constant. One day they'll hype you up, the next day they'll throw shade, and then spin right back to liking you again. And I can see how that can feel like an emotional roller coaster. Truly, it's intense. At this point, this should honestly be written into the contract. You need skin tough as leather that's been baking in the Arizona sun, because keeping up with all this back and forth can be brutal. I totally get it. It's not easy. And I'm willing to bet people have been thinking about other times when cast members weren't acknowledged for being absent. Joe even addressed it himself on this episode, making it clear that
leave unceremoniously from here for you.
Oh, is that the thing?
That's that, yeah, so they just put it on me no matter what.
Listen, when I leave, I'm gonna talk about it.
All right, y'all. You can see why folks would trip a little over the vibe, but all things considered, I really hope Mona is doing okay. Seasons are no joke, for real, and health always comes first. Everything else takes a back seat. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Real talk, if something happened to you on the job, the employer would be on LinkedIn tomorrow looking for a replacement, or squeezing the team until they found one. Y'all know how that goes. I'm talking to my 9-to-5 folks right now. Moving over to the new changes on the JBP, honestly, I'm here for it. I really am. By now, y'all know I'm all about the music segments. Some of my videos literally focus on music only, and I don't even realize it until I'm mid-recording, but that's the energy we're giving. So I think Beat is a solid addition to the pod so far. These music segments make me feel like I'm vibing along, answering in my head and keeping up with the rhythm. I've even got a quick hits one lined up for later. If you disagree, cool, drop your opinions, but don't tussle with me over mine, and thank you. B offered some pushback, and Parks was like, cool out. Not verbatim, but that was the energy. When B and Freeze were going back and forth with their mini exchange, it wasn't wild. Parks was riding for ice, no doubt. I like that Beat loosened up and let his shoulders drop a bit this week. It's still new, so we can't expect folks to be in full rhythm immediately, but he handled it well. I also like that he mentioned Denzel Curry. Finally, some love for this brother on the pod. I personally jam to Denzel while working out, and trust me, it maxes out my reps every single time. Now, if you remember back in the summer, I suggested Mark should have a segment called Mark on a Minute to cover news and politics. Well, guess what? We got it. One-stop shop vibes. Of course, you got to do your own research, run your due diligence, all of that. And really, what better climate than now to have this segment? Mark touched on the news coverage of the ongoing war in the Middle East, and the room was full of passionate takes. 3 guaranteed hot-button topics: politics, money, and religion. I think this was also the first time we saw Mona and Joe have a mini moment together. Nothing too crazy, for real. Honestly, I feel like I keep saying that this whole episode wasn't too crazy. Take a sip if you want for every time I say it, though. I won't. But this mini-spirited conversation/debate, yeah, I was like, dang, if I had some Pernals, I would have clutched them. Mona got up, walked over, and sat next to Joe to share his thoughts. A pleasant surprise to see him in the mix. Overall, I really dug this episode. I can roll with these musical chairs and swapping folks around. It felt fresh to me. I know it's an adjustment, but one they can get used to.
Joe and Mona were tossing jokes back and forth too, which is almost expected now that the new energy is settling in. Mona even tried giving beats and pointers here and there. Probably flashbacks to her first week, figuring out when to say prospects or when and how to exit the cameras. Quick hits before a dip, Drake's classic Take Care. I get it if someone says nothing was the same after that. It's valid. I've known Drake since So Far Gone and was hyped when Ransom dropped. Wheelchair Jimmy made it out of Canada. Second quick hit, the Captain Do-Rag segment. Nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing. It's for us, by us. Simple as that. Remember the Captain Underpants books? Same vibes, stuff we loved as kids. If you're around my age, you probably remember coming home and watching Static Shock with him rockin' locks, another For Us, By Us show. Third quick hit, the JBP might as well bring Les Alon at this point. Let's squash all this L wrestle talk, please and thank you. And lastly, 808s and Heartbreak didn't get enough credit back then. Well, depends who you ask. Plus, Walee's The Album About Nothing is a classic if you're a Walee fan and caught Seinfeld. 2-for-1 energy right there. As always, drop your key takeaways in the comments if you're feeling this content. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, y'all, peace.